confused. Right. Oh, hang on. What's she doing now? Share screen. This one. Share. Make massive. Right, so the party season and setting you up for success. But we've got a brand new Vicky to welcome in this week. So welcome, Vicky. So the new Vicky that we've got a few Vickies now, which is always really fun. We've got like Carolines, Carolines, we've got Vickies, we've got sometimes I'm like, oh fuck, do not send the wrong check-in to the wrong person. I'm like, oh God, can get a little bit chaotic this end. But welcome, Vicky. And I didn't actually put any wins in this week because I was thinking, fuck, it's so hard to narrow down to who's more deserving than anybody else. And it's a bit like I've noticed it with so obviously the meetings with Kat on a Monday. But even her like Friday messages in the group chat, it just feels like it's just phenomenal, high energy, great action taking, loads of PBs, loads of like fat loss, loads of like great reverse diets. Like they are my chef's kiss. Like all of it's going so well that it's too hard to say. So all of you deserve a pat on the back because, and even if it's a tough week, you've still shown up, which again, I think matters more than anything when you still show up for yourself, even amongst like when you've had great weeks and then suddenly you have a bit of a slip. It's amazing. I still keep getting really out of breath. It's delightful. Those of you who've also had COVID know exactly what I'm talking about, and it's still horrendous. So if I sound like, honestly, like I've just climbed the Eiffel Tower step by step at a time, just allow my life because it's still very much around. But every single one of you guys, unless you're a hermit, like I said in the community chat, and I'll be honest, I am a bit of a hermit. I actually am a bit of a hermit. But a lot of you guys, especially if you work in corporate teams, I know we've got business owners in there. You guys might have teams. Do you know what I mean? You're likely to be going out. You're likely to have at least some occasions, whether you choose to do them all. I very much think nobody can make that decision for you. We can help you make the decisions that you want to make, but we're not, again, we're not a dictatorship inside of Strong Her. We're going to steer you and help you evaluate your own decisions, but we're never going to tell you exactly what to do. So I just don't believe in that style of coaching. At the end of the day, you have to make the right decision that sits with you. You just need to know all of your options available in order to be able to make the right decisions. But that being said, I want you to be able to navigate this season with confidence. Now, a lot of you guys have been in the program a while. You will have experience of doing exactly what I'm going to talk you through. But some of you guys may never have done this before, or you might have done it completely inaccurately. So I'm here to actually show you how it's done. So the fat loss equation. Now, this very much depends on who you are inside of the program. This is kind of, I would argue, best case scenario. So this, and I say it's a mathematical equation in terms of fat loss and understanding the kind of the calories piece. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it. There's a lot more emotion. We're coaching real life women. We're not coaching robots. But the long and short of it is a mathematical equation. That is how I'm calculating the calories and the macros that you've each individually got available to you. So 3,500 as a negative is roughly equal to 1 pound of fat, ignoring the early days where you get some water weight in there and you can move at a far quicker pace. 1 pound of fat is equal to, and you could put a pound of fat on by 3,500 calories over, or lose a pound by being 3,500 calories under. Now, some of you guys, I can't make it 3,500 calories of a deficit. And I'm going to be completely logical and honest and upfront with you guys here. If you are a perimenopausal woman who actually doesn't have a huge amount of body fat to lose, but you've got that meno belly, but you might not be like severely overweight. I might not be able to drop your calories because I do, as a coach, have a threshold that I don't ever want to drop below. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's sustainable. So your deficit might not be as high as 3,500 calories. It might be a little bit smaller every day. And that would be across a week, by the way, not across a day. But that's to give you some context. Or if you are not moving at 10,000 steps a day, let's say you're coming in and you were doing 1,000 steps before you joined Strong Her. I'm not going to set you 10,000 steps because it's going to feel way too much. So again, our energy expenditure just might not be where we need it to be yet. So all of these things can kind of sway a little bit as to what happens. But maintenance for the terminology is breaking even. A surplus is a calorie surplus putting on fat, and deficit is losing fat. Or you might hear me say a bulk or a cut, which a cut is a deficit. Again, a bulk is a surplus. Maintenance, I'm pretty sure I can't think of any other terminology that we would ever use. So I'm just going to move you all because you guys are right in the way of my screen where I need to look to be able to see what I'm talking about. Oh, there you go. Now you're at the bottom. I won't be able to switch the slides over now. So this is taking the average scenario, which I would say probably as high as 90% of you guys will fall into this category. Not exactly these numbers. I'm just taking averages here. You might well not be 2,000 calories a day on maintenance. I'm just using the example as this. So the brighter pink would be the total amount. Let me just get my mouse to work. So this total amount would be your entire amount in a day that you would be able to have to maintain, as an example. But if we take away this darker purple 500 and you only have access to the 1,500, you are going to be in an energy deficit. So that 500 calories that you're essentially putting aside every day, we're pretending that you're all perfect. Okay, some of you guys do this brilliantly, some of you guys need a bit more practice. Okay, but this would be the most sublime example where you literally stick to the calories you've been set 7 days a week without fail. That would put you into that 1 pound a week of fat loss. And that's a really good aim, by the way. Might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less, but across the average, that's definitely what we want to do. And at the beginning, like I say, it will definitely be a bit more because you will also have that water retention piece. Right, now I can't change the bloody slide. Let's see. Huh. Right, now I'm going to have to... Oh, did that move? Did I move too far? Nope. There you go. Ah, got it working. Right. Sliding up at the weekends. Now, this is really common. This is really common. So imagine you are doing this beautifully Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then probably again on Sunday, sometimes not. But you are sliding back up to maintenance on Friday and Saturday. You are technically still in a deficit. Some of you guys, like I say, some of you guys might actually not have the privilege of coming up like this without staying at maintenance. And that's going to make your life really, really tricky because you just don't have as much mass on you to lose. So you don't have the affordability of going over every single damn weekend. But some of you guys might have the luxury of doing that, where you decide, right, okay, you know what? I'm happy to be in a 2,500 calorie deficit across the week. I don't need a pound of fat a week. I'm happy to just have a little bit under a pound of fat a week. And this could be an option. The challenge with this is what will happen is you will get a little bit of water weight, most likely on Saturday morning from Friday night, most likely on Sunday morning from Saturday. So because you've got more food in your stomach, it is physically impossible for the weighing scales to probably not go up. Okay, it is physically impossible for you to weigh the same as what you would have done on Thursday because you've got more food in your system. Might not be body fat, but it is a consideration for you guys to think about. So that is another potential scenario. But here's what can happen, and this is what definitely could happen, probably was happening before you joined Strong Her, and also could well have been happening. Do you know what I mean? It could happen if you do this going into the kind of Christmas, the celebration, the holidays, all of the social occasions, the weekend plans coming up. But this is an example of where you essentially go, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you are in a deficit, you're smashing it, but then you go way over on a Friday, a Saturday, and because you're probably hungover, you're also eating the shit food on a Sunday as well to try and soak it up. Let's be honest, we've all been there. Okay, this is probably what a perfect weekend of a birthday celebration would look like. And I would actually fully condone this on your birthday weekends. Okay, so if you're going, right, okay, my birthday is this week, I actually think enjoy the fuck out of it. That should be an occasion where it is enjoyed. But if you are doing this, you've absorbed your entire deficit. So this 2,000 calories that you have essentially allowed for, but then you've completely undone it by going 500 calories over. So we've got 1,000 extra here, 1,000 extra here, and an additional 500 here. Now, again, that's better than not being in a deficit, at least Monday through Thursday, but it's still not going to get you where you want to be. So if you're looking at the weighing scales going, damn, these things are just never going down, and in fact, they keep going up, this is probably where the answers lie. And for context, you think 3,000 calories is a lot. That's my maintenance. So you think eating 3,000 calories would be so difficult to do? I am living proof that that is my daily normal, okay? And I still look the way I do. Now, I look the way I do through years and years of training, getting a huge amount of muscle on my physique, a low body fat percentage, but it is very, very easy to eat 3,000 calories a day. If you go to a restaurant and they do not show the calories on their menu and you have a starter, a main and a dessert, I'd be amazed if you got any change from 3 to 5,000 calories. And that's just in that one three-course meal, not including the breakfast, the lunch that you've eaten that day either. So you can easily smash through these calories. Wine, do you know what I mean? You have a few glasses of wine, you're suddenly topping it up. You're talking like potentially 600 calories. That's easy, isn't it? A few glasses of wine, you probably wouldn't bat an eyelid. I would. I'd be drunk. I'd be under the table. Somebody would have to be fishing me out, going, she's no good. I think I would actually be spewing up by that point. So I'd probably be getting rid of the calories as soon as they'd gone in. But for some of you guys, a few glasses of wine would be easy work. And again, I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to inform you and try and change the slides. Move, move. Oh, this one. Right. So, how to actually plan around it then? So, what is a conceptual idea of what we could do? So, what we could do, rather than just staying in the 500 calorie deficit of what I have told you to stay in every single day, you could aim to reduce that a little bit further by an amount where you go, yeah, you know what? If I just take away one of my snacks, or if I just consume a little bit less carbohydrates. Now, if you are perimenopausal, I'd be a bit careful about bringing down the fats too much. Annoyingly, that fats are the highest in calories, okay, and you can bring them down, but for hormonal health for women, so if you are trying for a baby, and there are some women in this program who are in that category, healthy fats are really good for fertility, so you don't want to be messing around with them too severely. And the same for perimenopausal women. Again, healthy fats really good for overall hormonal function. So that's the first place I will cut. If I go into a deeper cut, that's the first thing I will cut. I will cut out all garlic bread, which has obviously got the butters, the oils. I will cut out all oil. I will move over to Frylight, one spray, 1 calorie a spray. I will cut out, what else do I cut out? I'll cut out seeds out of my smoothies. I will cut out, what's the other one? There's a big main one. I moved from semi-skim milk into unsweetened almond milk. Basically, my fats become fairly minimal. Now, you do want to be careful, like I say, just how much fats you do actually reduce it by, but it can be a quick, easy win. You're just reducing from a 500 deficit to potentially a 600 deficit. You might be able to stretch it a little bit further. If you actually think, you know what, I can stretch it to 650, that's entirely up to you if you think you can do it, but you've got to be able to stick to it. So this is the key, by not reducing it too much so that you then want to eat the kitchen sink. But if you do that across the course of 5 days, you can potentially buy yourselves some extra calorie banking. So it is, think of it like a piggy bank. If you were thinking, right, I really want to buy a pair of shoes, I'm just going to put aside X amount of money on top of what I would normally save, because my normal savings go to a rainy day or they go to Christmas or whatever your savings might ordinarily go to. But you actually really want this thing, and you go, right, I'm just going to put a little bit extra aside. You know what? I can afford to do that. If I just put an extra 5% of my salary aside, that's going to add up over the course of that period of time. This is no different, thinking about it like a savings account. That is exactly what we want to do. So now in this scenario, your deficit is no longer 2,500, your deficit is 3,000. So you've bought yourself a little bit of a gap. Now, like I say, you could stretch that if you wanted to. You could try and stretch your meals a little bit on the day, where you go, right, I won't have such an early breakfast. I'll have something mega light, and then I'll have brunch, and then I'll have something again, and then I'm going to save myself for that. You can consider simple tricks, like instead of thinking you need to have a three-course dinner, you could either share a starter and a dessert and just have your main. You could easily say, no, I don't love starters. I'm just going to go for the main and the dessert, or vice versa. Do you know what I mean? I would personally probably be a starter, not a dessert. I don't like sticky toffee pudding, and that fucking feels like that's all you get at these Christmas gatherings. Honestly, every time you have a sticky toffee pudding, I want you all to put it in the group chat. Let's see how many sticky toffee puddings get eaten between now and Christmas. It's disgusting. They're horrible. But they're literally, I swear to God, all that everyone ever gets given. And it's like the only option. You might get Christmas pudding if it is actually a Christmas dinner, but I can guarantee the alternative will be a bastard sticky toffee pudding. So you'll never see me eating that. But this is it. You're banking up just like you would a savings account. That is the same principle. Again, on the Sunday, you might well see a little bit of a flare up on the scales, because you do have more food in your system. If you're eating later at a Christmas gathering, a do with work or whatever it might be with your friends, all of these things, you probably ate a little bit later. So again, you can expect to see the weighing scales fluctuate a little bit the next day. If it triggers you really badly and you can't see it as just knowledge and data, just don't step on the damn weighing scales the next morning. If you really feel like this is going to blow my mind and I don't want to see it, just miss it for a day or two. That is absolutely fine, as long as we understand why. Tracking, measuring, it's exactly the same as what Undies and some of the other women were saying when it got asked. Oh, God, was it yesterday? I feel like it was yesterday. Or was it today? I really can't remember. It feels like so much has happened today. But somebody was asking about a meal, what like something they'd had, I think, over the weekend. So like retrospectively how to put it in. It was a bit like Andy said, use the tools that you can, put it in as best as you can, and leave it alone. It might not be accurate, it might not be truthful. The only thing that is helpful to us is to either say it, let us know in your check-in in the group chat, or in your notes in the daily check-in. Just let us know. So if we do see a bit of a weight bubble up, we're not kind of going, oh, hang on a minute, that's a bit weird, because it's got to, and it can be like a kilo. Do you know what I mean? Water weight is notoriously easy to put on, but you're not likely to be putting on body fat, guys. You're not likely to be like literally eating everything and more. That's just not going to happen. So it will just be water weight. So, Christmas, I am just going to touch on this. I will definitely be doing another presentation over like covering the holidays. But again, my view is like Christmas, you enjoy it. There's absolutely no way I would want anybody in this program, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, potentially New Year's Eve as well, those kind of things going, oh, I just want to calorie count and I want to be in a deficit and I can't have my pigs in blankets because they don't fit on my macros. Like, no, no, that is not how we roll. Like I say all of the time, there are 365 days of the year. We want to nail 300 of them, and 65 of them go towards the things and the stuff that make us human beings. This can be Christmas lead up events, it can be Christmas, it can be New Year's, it can be holidays when you go abroad, it can be injuries, it can be illnesses. They're going to take up some space, guys. It could be children's birthdays, whatever it might be, but Christmas and the holidays, they are a time. Now, there is going to be a window where we go, right, okay, I don't know, let's call it 14 days or whatever between Christmas, New Year, all of that. Ideally, we don't want to literally sit and gorge ourselves silly, but there's usually a point where you go, fuck, I'm so sick of eating. If somebody tries to put food in my face anymore, I'm gonna like punch them in the head. I am so sick and tired of eating. But your goal is to enjoy the moments leading up to that. And it always comes where you think, I'm done, put the celebrations away. I actually just want to eat some salmon veg. Do you know what I mean? I just want to go clean for a bit. And it will come. And then you will absolutely know that you'll be on a mission in January. So I think that's it. Yeah, it is. Right. Let me stop that. How do I stop that? Because I've moved you all. So now I don't know what I'm doing. Let's try and move you all back. Oh, hell. Don't know how to move you. Oh, there we go. Right. Stop share. Yes, perfect. Right. I lost sticky toffee pudding. That was me at the Japanese restaurant. Really helpful to see the grass. It is helpful, isn't it, to actually see that visual demonstration to know what I'm actually trying to talk about. And obviously, if anyone wants to watch it back, I'm pretty sure it's recording. Yes, it is. So if you really want to again wrap your head around it, that's absolutely fine. But that's all we're talking about, just stealing a little bit from your allowance in a sustainable way as much as possible. And sometimes it might just not work, as in there might be days where you think I'm too hungry to try and dip an extra 100 calories out of today. It's just not going to happen, and I have to accept it for what it is. Fine. And you know what? And just make us aware. If you are going to try and do that, make us aware. So again, we don't look at your macros calorie counting and go, oh God, you're really like, do you know what I mean? You're missing some out here. And again, try not to take it out of the protein. If you are going to bank, unless you're quite over on protein every day, try not to take it from the protein, because that is one, the best macros in terms of fat loss. It synthesizes faster than anything else, processes through your body, keeps you feeling fuller for longer, definitely aids the muscle recovery in terms of the strength training. It's too powerful a macro to drop. It's got to come out of the other two. It's got to come out of the carbs or the fats. Where are we? Hang on, sorry, I'm trying to catch up. Can you bank calories with extra exercise, or is controlling the nutrition? You can. It's just the challenge is we don't know how many calories you are gaining. Unfortunately, the technology that tracks energy expenditure is just not there. Like no fitness technology, they're showing us something like 83% inaccurate. So it's really difficult to do it. However, we see it quite often. So Leonie was actually a really good example of this the other week, where she went on I think she went to like the Lake District. It was something like that. Lots of walking, lots of pub eating, but lots of, and a bit of drinking in there for good measure, but loads and loads of walking. Her steps are off the chart. We've seen it where some of the women go to like Italy and they've walked and walked and walked, like literally over 100,000 steps, 120,000 steps in like 4 or 5 days. even though they've eaten, they've burned off so much energy that yes, it has almost leveled them out, so they haven't put the body fat back on. Now, I would say if you're going to try and do it through steps. Don't do it through strength training. You're not going to get to where you want to be through strength training. Running, I think, is going to spike your hunger levels too much. So if it were me, I would only do it through very low level intensity cardio, which basically means steps. So if you want to aim for an extra 4,000 steps a day, the other consideration is a lot of you guys will not have the time to try and do that. So we're back to the nutrition. Do you know what I mean? But if you do find you've got the time, I'm not against it. Absolutely. We have two needles we can pull on, energy in and energy out. That's it. That's all we've got to play with here. And then emotions and everything else in the mix as well. Um, I'm so pleased you covered Christmas Day, as I was slightly dreading it already, but you're right, 80-20 rule. Exactly. Honest to God, if any coach ever said to anybody unless, if you were a bodybuilder, okay, this would be different. I would have to be saying to you, we're going for gold on the stage. I don't give a fuck about your Christmas. If you want this and we're competing soon after Christmas, you might be able to have a little bit extra, but that's it. We've got to bring it down somewhere else in the week. But we're not bodybuilders. This has to be sustainable, guys. You do not want to ever be limiting special occasions, family occasions, like however you spend Christmas. Again, if you want to be in a deficit, I'm not going to tell you can't be. I just will not be. You can guarantee I will not be in a deficit on Christmas Day. I will be gorging myself stupid. I'm cooking it this year, so it's usually actually quite depressing. I did a terrible job 3 years ago, and I'm a really good cook, self-proclaimed, but I am, and it went so badly wrong. I was like, the timings were about 3 hours out. I couldn't get the bastard turkey to cook, and it was tragic. And I was like, oh my God. And it's now swung back around every 3 years. It comes back to me. So pray for me on Christmas Day and everyone coming to eat at mine. I find taking photos to send to the chat helpful when I have a wobble, gets me back into a better mindset, going back into tracking. Absolutely. Please make use of the community as you guys see fit. It is there for your purpose. Again, if it overwhelms you, you're absolutely welcome to mute it. But any questions, we were talking about this the other day, weren't we? About I think it was Andrea saying about the menu choices. If you want to put your menus in, please put them in. And again, in the community is amazing because then everyone gets to learn, and that's a really helpful exercise. So again, please send them through. How do I best do it when I'm in a bulk phase and I don't want to be in a deficit? Estimate how much the dinner plus wine would be, and then potentially bank the days before. So do you mean if you're not so you're at maintenance, Mary? And if you do want to go into a bulk, let me know because I can push that up, but I would say your weight's stabilized at the minute. Um, if I'm honest, you would be able to metabolize the calories anyway. Off the top of my head, you're already on like 2,300 calories. So you might go a little bit over, but I'd probably say I wouldn't be too concerned about banking the calories in your instance, especially if you're using words like bulk. If you're thinking, you know what, it's just a bit of extra fuel, I'll burn it off in the next coming days and I'll have really good, strong sessions. I would probably look at it like that. But for you, yeah, I probably wouldn't bother banking personally. I'd probably just accept that. And depends how much over you think you're going to go by. It depends if it's a 5,000 calorie meal or if it's more like a 2,000 calorie dinner and actually you can withstand that little bit extra. But again, I mean, we could talk about it by all means. If you've got a specific scenario, just let me know and we can plan up to that as best as possible. Um, Christmas walk, guys. Do we still want to track and log on Christmas Day? Christmas walks. What is that? I don't know what you mean by that. Is that like a command? I mean, we will be doing a Christmas walk. We still got dogs. We have to get them out. I don't know what that bit means. Do you still want us to track and log on Christmas Day? Absolutely not. Do you really, Michelle, want to be sitting there on Kahunas? Okay, so Thomas and I will go to the gym on Christmas Day because we love training. We love, and I'm going to have a very stressful Christmas day, right? It's going to be horrible, horrible. But one of the things we love to do is go training on Christmas Day and see all of the other psychopaths in the gym who are all, and you would be amazed. There's usually quite a lot of us. Everyone's in great spirits, Christmas hats. Like we are those psychopaths. So if you want to train on Christmas Day, you go for it. But tracking and logging, no. And guess what? Coach Cat and I will not be looking. We will not be going, oh, I wonder what they did on Christmas Day. Ooh. No, we are not going to be paying any attention on Christmas Day. We are going to be living our best lives as well. Cat's got children. She deserves to have that downtime as well. So absolutely not. I don't, but you scare me. So just checking. But I would try and mindfully get some steps in. I would definitely try and move your body on Christmas Day. Get your family out for walks. Get everybody in fresh air. If the sun is shining, do you know what I mean? Try and get everybody moving. That's definitely something we do. I run every Christmas Day. That's what Undies is saying. This is it. Some of us just like to be strange. We're all in good company together. Get the turkey in before you go to the gym. Yeah, I'm not cooking it this year. My stepfather is like really high up chef and has been for like 30 odd years. He's agreed to cook it for me this year and bring it across. So I've got out of the turkey and the desserts. So I just need to do everything else, and I'm pretty sure I can master that. So we'll be okay. We'll be okay. But and by all means as well, if you want to use the community chat Christmas Day, people usually do wish everyone a Merry Christmas, put in whatever they want to put in, photos. That's absolutely fine. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't feel like, oh, I'm tracking. Do you know, it's different. That's okay. Xmas Day is a Thursday, so will you still need us to check in? No, I will be going through this. I'll be going through. I need to work it out yet because it's a bit annoying how Christmas and New Year falls. And I don't want us to take that much time out, but I also don't want people checking in at shitty times. So I'm going to have a look whether I change check-in days on a certain window or, but absolutely not. Under no circumstances am I going to accept that. No way. But I do need to have a look at what we're going to do because I know the dates and timings of it fall really, really poorly for us this year. So, but yeah, I'll be letting you all know when Coach Cat and I are off the clock, essentially, when we expect you guys to be as well, and then when we pivot and what we're doing slightly differently this year. So I promise you we will be doing that one. And we'll probably do a bit of a, I think we're going to do like a strong hair, like whether we do like a pub quiz or whether we do, I don't know, a bingo session. We're probably going to do something fun in the lead up to Christmas instead of like a learn everything you need to know kind of session. It'll just be a bit more fun. So we'll probably do a bit of an e-gathering, an online gathering, and then we are looking at this summit for next year now. I think we decided to do a gathering this side of Christmas, knowing that everyone's committed most dates. I was like, this is just never going to work this side of Christmas, and it was just going to put too much pressure on. So we're going to do it in the new year, and now I just need to fathom out children's holidays and half terms and Easters and try and find just a window of opportunity. But that is everything. Has anybody else got any other questions? Anything at all? While you have got me, what somebody did ask something earlier. I think it was Vicky. Somebody else did answer it. Um, where is it? Let me just see. That's the wrong group. It's this one. What was it? Oh yeah, dry weight, cooked weight of carbohydrates. So it is a little bit like Michelle said, where like you can choose in the app as long as you are making it very clear and the calories are right to the way you're doing. Either way is fine. And again, you might need to think, well, what's easier? Some carbs are easier to do as a dry weight than a cooked weight, than trying to be like, right, how much pasta am I allowed? Now, it might be a bit easier if you're cooking for four, so the rest of the pasta doesn't go to waste. If it's cooked weight, you can pull out your cooked weight. But if it's easier to do dry weight and you don't want to waste it, then do you know what I mean? Just mess around as you need to. But as long as you're allowing for it appropriately, that's absolutely fine, because obviously it does change the aftermath of it, not with the other macro groups, but it does with carbohydrates. So I know that question came up. And anyone, by the way, thank you so much to everyone who has shared the Glowvember. That will obviously be kicking off Friday. I know some of you guys have already got friends and people are coming into it. I cannot see who anyone is, by the way. So I literally have all I've got is mobile numbers at this point in time. Thomas holds all of the data for who is who, and I don't know how to access it at this point. And I'm not stressing myself out about it until closer to the time. And I don't even see the DMs because it's all automated. So I see nothing apart from a list of mobile numbers and a WhatsApp group. So I don't know who's in, I don't know who isn't, but appreciate the shares, and hopefully we can get you guys some free coaching out of it as well. So yeah, just wanted to say a massive thank you. All right, I'm gonna love you and leave you all then. We'll see you on the flip side. Remember, no such thing as a stupid question. Ask as many as you need to. We'll definitely be catching up with a lot of you guys on Wednesday, and if not, we will see you on the check-ins. Mwah. Have a lovely week, guys. Bye.